We begin with developing news as a 4-month curfew for Kalihi Valley homes ends. Good evening, I'm Paula AKANA.
And I'm Laura Yamada. It began almost 4 months ago after a shooting, a stabbing, and several other assaults. The curfew was an emergency measure that legally could not last for long enough. Many residents wanted to make it permanent, though. Catherine CRUZ is back with a story you'll see only on KITV4. Kat?
Well, you know, the curfew had to be lifted by August 1st. The news that tonight was the night came after a meeting with residents.
I'm glad that they're going to lift it.
Sharon Salvador says the curfew made her feel like she was in prison. She's glad that crime dropped, but was sad that her great-grandchildren stopped coming to visit because they didn't feel welcome.
So I'm glad it's lifted so that now they can come and feel free.
At tonight's meeting, Hawaii housing officials arranged for translators. In Chuukese, Samoan, and Laotian, it was aimed at getting residents comfortable about speaking their mind, underscoring what they liked and didn't like about the curfew. Residents will be able to move about more freely, although the 10 p.m. to midnight restrictions on visitors will still be in place.
There's still rules. It's not like there aren't. I mean, and those are, like I said, bounded by the lease. And enforcement, you know, ultimately, if there isn't following of the rules, you know, people can get evicted.
Wise is hoping the 4-month timeout changed behaviors. She was encouraged that on the 4th of July holiday, families were still very mindful of the rules.
And that's self-policing. You know, nobody had to go, hey, people. No, that's and they did it. And there were still people out on their lanais, and there were people on their back porch enjoying themselves, but not partying like rock stars, being very respectful of each other.
Other residents say they'd like to see the rules that were imposed during the curfew enforced by parents. Tonight's meeting was watched with great interest by the head of another state project, Mayor WRIGHT Housing.
We wrestle with a lot of things. There's always fights, gang fights with each other or other rival gangs.
Kolio wants to learn as much as he can to start the dialogue with Mayor WRIGHT residents about what they can do to curb their problems with drugs and crime. Now, the state will hold public hearings across the state about the curfew concept later this fall. Residents at Kalihi Valley Homes will have a follow-up meeting in about a month and a half just to see how things are going. Catherine CRUZ, KITV4 News.